What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pro Polishers Academy, where we help paint correctors like you turn your systems into consistency by moving you through the learning curves faster, utilizing formulas that work without fail. I'm Smitty, and I'll be your lead instructor. Let's get into it. So today we're going to jump into the Pro Polishers Academy's Friday call called the Outer Growth Call, where we focus on branding, marketing, and systems for scale. Today's topic is going to be about how photography is your secret weapon in your automotive detailing business. Let's jump into it. Welcome in, gentlemen, to the call today. So this is the first time doing a call on Fridays. It's going to be the first of a series we call the Outer Growth Series. So on Mondays we're going to have tech sessions. Wednesdays we're going to have inner game calls, and then Friday we will take what we have learned about building internally, whether it be personally or inside of the business, and we'll have the outer growth calls and apply those things from Wednesday's calls to the Friday outer growth. And outer growth is going to focus on branding, marketing, and systems. So what's going on, TP? All right, so today we're going to talk about the secret weapon of photography. It's one of the most important things that you can focus in on or hone in on in any business, especially if you're providing a service of some sort. And in the automotive detailing industry specifically, most guys drop the ball. So I've known of a lot of individuals who don't capture their work. They work on a vehicle for a month and they don't have any proof of it, or they might have a couple of photos in a tiny flip phone or something, and it's a no-go when you're trying to grow and expand your business. So whether your potential is a potential client, whether they're a gearhead or just a new car owner who's looking for protection on their vehicle, they're going to be drawn in by catching an eye-catching portfolio. So the problem that the majority of detailers have is that their photos are mediocre, or they just don't have enough, like I was saying. And so photography is going to be a very important variable to the backbone of marketing. People don't see it as a marketing tool. They don't see it as something that's necessarily essential for the business. They think it's like, either or. I can do this or I can do that, but no, this is just as important, and people need to know it. So that's what we're going to cover right this second. So give me 1 minute. Got to get my notes cleared up here. Every time you take a photo of your work, your shop is in the photo, your detail van, your detail truck's in the photo, your logo may be in that photo, and that's subconsciously building brand awareness in your potential lead or your potential client. They're picking up on what it is you do. They're seeing your process. They're seeing the flow. If they're following you, they're watching the flow of how you do business. And some of them want to see consistency. They want to see that this vehicle is done like the last one. The last vehicle might have been a six-figure vehicle, but the one that you're working on now might be, a $10,000 vehicle. They want to see if you're going to have consistency in that. And again, subconsciously, they're seeing your shop set up. They're getting your brand colors, in the back of their mind. So you're starting to build that brand awareness, and it's necessary. And this happens really only through a photo, unless they're actually walking in or you're going to their house. You can also repurpose your photos and your videos for things like business cards. You can take a lot of dope photos, and if they're good enough, you can put them on a business card. I've done that many times, where I take the photos that you might see of me on Instagram, those are on business cards, and nobody's really going to get rid of that business card because it's got some action to it. It's got some vibrant color going on, and they can actually see me working on the vehicle. So they're going to keep it just because it's not your normal card. And that's just me simply repurposing those photos from Instagram, from the website, whatever the case may be, and applying it to new areas. So even in trifold brochures, like, your content is key. So you can even send these, like, let's just say you send photos to a client, right? So you're sending photos to a client and using their screenshot, or the screenshot of the reaction that they have to the photos that you sent them. It might be a wow, or man, I can't believe this is coming out like it is. Whatever it is, you can screenshot that, block out their name or number, and you can use that in your advertisement. You can use that in your in a regular Instagram post. You can use it as a standalone Facebook, Instagram, whatever kind of advertisement, and you can say something like, hey, if you want your vehicle to shine like this one, or if you want to be wild like our other customers, give us a call. Like, your photos are more than just for posting for a split second and moving on. Your foundation, as far as having that portfolio established, it's kind of cut and dry. You want to have something that can be presented, that can answer all the questions for a customer that's potentially looking to get something done. But then at the same time, what's going on, Russ? At the same time, you also want to have in mind other things that might come up where you can implement one photo and change the perspective of your business for a potential client. So yeah, and you know, again, putting them on business cards really works. So the photos that I take of myself, I'll do, you know, typically people will make, you know, horizontal business cards. I'll do a portrait or vertical card, and I've got it looking like, you know, just a normal Instagram post. There's a picture of me working, and then there is, you know, the business information at the top or the bottom. And people look at it, they flip it over a couple times because they've never seen something like that around here, at least not in regards to automotive, not in regards to the automotive industry. The average business owner in the auto industry has a business card that's got a wrench on it and a hammer on it and their name, you know, maybe a business number, maybe some contact information, but it's very minimal. So if you can do something to stand out with a business card using your photography, it can really take your business to another level as far as perception goes. Photography is truly a trust building tool. So it is, it's one thing to keep a client up to date on their vehicle, but it's a whole nother level of trust when you send photos of the vehicle and the updates, especially without them asking. So, you know, most won't necessarily expect the photos. So when they've already trusted you and doing business with you, you know, they're going to be expecting the vehicle to be ready like any other automotive situation. Like, okay, you know, we'll give you a call when it's ready. But when you send photos to your customer and the photos are clean and clear and you're showing them the process as you're walking through it, man, it really takes your business to another level. You can almost, you know, count on a 5-star review. To tell you the truth, you can almost count on a 5-star review, and in that review is going to say they kept me up to date through the whole process. So immediately, if I've got a client that is a solid individual, I'm going to send them photos of us prepping the vehicle. I'm going to send them photos either with some foam on it, and to us it might not seem like much because, you know, it's just step one, foaming up a car, but for the client, they're typically going through a car wash, so to see their entire vehicle lathered up, it's going to make a difference, and they're going to say, wow, just at that. So you got to put yourself in the client's shoe and give them every step of the process. So, you know, when it's masked off and you got the tape all over it, send it to them. Send a picture of it so they can know that you are working. And you've got those people who are not untrustworthy, but they don't have trust in others. So when you're sending these photos, some of them are already waiting on something to go wrong. When you catch them off guard and you're updating them on the process, it is a really good check mark on the graded paper, you know, saying that, hey, this guy is on top of his stuff. I can come back to him. I can also refer. You know, they still haven't seen the final project, but this all gives great indication to the fact that I'm going to get some good service. The work is going to be good in the end. And even if the work isn't good, they gave me some quality customer service throughout the whole process. And that's super rare, guys. I'm telling you. We have, for example, we got a painter who we literally just had to cut off of our referral list because we referred a client to him, and he said he could get his truck painted. He was supposed to pick the truck up last Monday, and now it's Friday, and the guy still hadn't heard anything from him. And I'm like, man, unfortunately, we got to cut him out. Now, he could send pictures. He could have sent him some photos, give him some updates of some sort, but he's not doing anything. So, like, you want to build that trust, and you can use the photo to do it, even if you're behind. Send them photos so they can know, okay, at least it's not still outside in the wash bay. At least they are moved on to the ceramic coating, or at least they got the tape off, and he said they were coating it. Why would he take the tape off? And I can tell by what's in the background that this is not a photo from, you know, the day I dropped it off. Like, give them that trust right away, even if you are behind the power curve while you're working on that vehicle. So, you know, now I will say, disclaimer, for those picky clients, for those people who you know are already going to be a little bit worrisome, you give them photos every now and then, or don't tell them right off the bat that you're going to send them photos. A lot of times I'll tell the customers, hey, I'm going to send you photos while we work, but I've already read that person. I've already figured out that they're not going to be a pest. So I'll let them know up front, and I'll stay on top of it. But if it's somebody who I'm not sure is going to bother me for more and more pictures, then I'll just like kind of surprise them as I go. So keep that in mind. Everybody doesn't need to get photos because you can be aggravated by your customers. Until you've built a reputation and a name just off of your work, you know, your portfolio is going to be the cosign that determines the level of vehicles that you get a chance to work on. The average daily driver just wants to see, you know, an illuminated star on Google, and they'll start calling, start booking you, right? But then when you get to that luxury sports car owner, they might want to see a Facebook page with a few photos. They might want to dig through the, you know, your Google images then. But once you start getting to supercar owners, and man, I want to work on these classic cars, and you know, anything that's out of the norm, they are going to want to be able to scroll through a dense portfolio on Instagram, and they're going to want to see a professional website. And if you got LinkedIn, they want to crawl everything. They want to see if you got a YouTube. They want to see everything. So you have to remember that you can typically predict your level of client by your level of photography, by your documentation. So if you don't have supercars coming in, you know, you got to reverse engineer that thing and say, okay, well, what's my portfolio look like? Does it look like supercar worthy work? It doesn't necessarily have to be a supercar in the book, but would a supercar owner look at your shop and these photos and say, hey, I'm coming to this guy? The first supercar we ever did was an Acura NSX, a 2019, and I was scratching my head because the thing that sold him on the whole operation was because he saw 2 buckets sitting down on the ground, you know, in my little wash area. He was like, oh yeah, you use the 2-bucket method, I'm going with you. Yeah, everybody doesn't know that. I'm like, man, all these tools laying around and all these other things going on, and you were drawn by the buckets, right? So people are paying attention to what's going on in the photo. So I didn't have to show him another supercar in order to get the work in, but he saw 2 buckets, and that's what a supercar owner was looking for. And honestly, you know, another reason he didn't look any deeper than that was because he's not educated beyond that. He's studying YouTube. He's listening to people talk about 2-bucket methods. But still, let them see what they want to see in order for you to get the type of client in that you are looking to get. And that really comes through your photography. So, and this guy was a pretty picky guy. So I'm sure, I can't remember how he found us originally, but I know he saw some photos before he ever came in. Let's just say that. Hey, if you want to hear the rest of that call, join us in the Pro Polishers Academy. The link is down below in the description. We've got all of our members in our Discord, and any and everybody can have conversation amongst each other about that topic. You get to hear the rest of the phone call itself, and you can hear questions asked as well in regards to photography and making that camera work for your auto detailing business. I know a lot of you guys have had struggles with getting new clients in, but you might not realize the importance and the power of those tiny cameras in your back pocket. So hey, you don't need an expensive DSLR camera to make it happen. I was making it happen with an iPhone 7 for the longest until it finally gave out, and then I would gradually move up to these different iPhones. Now I've got a 15, but you can make it happen with an iPhone 11 because the software is still good enough to be able to edit and get good photos out of your camera. And if you got an Android, you can make it happen with an Android as well. But hey, that's it for today, guys. Again, go join us down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification for more videos just like this right here at the Pro Polishers Academy. We'd love to have you guys. Hey, the paint is waiting on you, and so are we. Peace.